Good morning, everybody. I just have a video that I want to share with you about something that happened yesterday. Here is the star of the story with his little jacket on, as I mentioned. And today we're walking up towards Mijas Mountain and no other dogs in sight. Listen to what my thoughts were about yesterday, and I'd love you to comment if you have been living your values lately. Do you know what they are, your core values and your core strengths? It's a fascinating journey once you start delving into it. Let me just stop now and just tell you about my dog story this morning, because this is very, very relevant. And I don't want the time to go without mentioning it. This morning I had a terrible experience. Let me just stop share a minute. Very, very terrible experience, but obviously it wasn't life. Well, it could have been for the dog, life, death or anything. I was walking my little dog Tino down by the river this morning, excited about this presentation today, in a good mood. He was on his lead and there was a man coming in the opposite direction, dog on the lead, and he was a normal spaniel, a brown and white, reasonable looking spaniel. And specifically yesterday, I found a new dog walk and I met three people with three huge dogs. One was loose, two on a lead. And I just picked Tino up. He's a little dog. And they said, oh, you can put him down. Our dog is fine. You don't need to. I said, yes, but I've just learned from experience, because years ago, one of my little dogs was loose. I was on a horse and this dog came out and picked him up and shook him like this. And I remember it so well, because it was like the charge of the light brigade. I was on my horse and I was going way and cantering up the hill to get back to my dog, because I was going down the hill. The dog was behind me. Anyway, I remembered that, of course, that comes immediately because your life past experiences come. And I've learned from that experience. And I was immediately down and pushed the dog away, and the owner was, whoa, and I said, I've got to push the dog away. And my poor little dog was going, I've never heard him. So it was as if someone had bitten his leg off and nothing was wrong. And fortunately, he had a jacket on, a little warm jacket that I was just thinking of taking off. And that saved him, really, because this dog went for his neck, you know. Yeah, a spaniel. I couldn't believe it either. And the man said, oh, this, that, and the other. And I dropped on the ground to cuddle my dog. He's tiny. He said, please, senora, please get on your feet. I said, no, I'm fine. And I was crying. I was blubbering like an idiot, you know. Not the emotion. I was conscious not to frighten my dog, but I just couldn't help the emotion. You know, I was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Whatever. And kissing and cuddling as you do. He's only a little one. And the man said, where was that? And I apologized to the man. I wanted him to be comfortable. It's amazing how my values just came in. And I said, don't worry, I'm an emotional person. I'm one of those women, because I was crying. And he said, are you all right? Are you all right? And I was explaining to him I was okay, don't worry, because I was also concerned about him. Now, before, I wouldn't have been concerned about him. I would have been my dog, and your stupid dog, and why is this? And I'm going to report you, and shouting. And nowadays, I'm not that person anymore. I've changed and my behavior is different. I have people noticing that I'm different, that have known me from before. It's incredible how this makes such an impact in your life. Anyway, to get back to the story, just to finish. So the value came up there that I was concerned. I wanted to communicate. I understood that the guy was altered, as you say in Spanish, alterado. He was upset, whatever, as well. I didn't want him to worry. And I just stayed down there. I said, I'm sorry, I've got a bad back. I'm going to see the chiropractor this afternoon. One of my hip bones is out of joint, but I'll fix it. And I'm kind of getting up in a minute. And he was so concerned. Anyway, we got up and I walked along. I checked he was okay. I held him for a bit, gave him a little treat. He was fine. And he trotted along, and the guy was walking next to me. And I stayed, and he says, well, it's happened before. I went, what? In here? And he said, yes, but it's usually big dogs, not little dogs. And so obviously I understood that. I thought, well, you know. And now I think, well, maybe he's a bit silly of a man. But anyway, and we went walking on, and I said that, don't worry, everything's fine. He's taught me a lesson. The other day, you know, I was going to let my dog loose, but I said I was so emotional because I had this happen to another dog before. And so I explained, so I communicated, I understood, I was grateful. Gratitude came right in. And I just connected with all these things. And he was chatting and I said, look, we now know each other better. So that's a good thing that came out of this. And I have a masterclass today and I've got a great story to talk about values and things. He looked at me and I don't think he understood what I was talking about, but anyway. And so I was amazed. That was sort of like an aha enlightenment. I thought, gosh, this is a perfect example of how you use your knowledge, your values. You've got to embody them and live them. And this journey is, I could talk about this forever. In fact, I think I might do a YouTube video on this week. But there was a lot more. This lady, just to finish off, was nearby and she came and the guy said, you saw, and she says, yes, I saw everything. And she was very cross because apparently this dog had bitten her dog or gone to her dog the week before or months before.
Tell you what.
And her dog was a big dog. And he says, it was, I said, well, you better be careful because one day the big dog is going to return and hurt your dog. And then this woman comes up, character, and people, as strange as we are and how different we are, just to bring this in, said, by the way, if you parked your car there because my daughter has her school bus there and you can't park there. I said, no, madam, that's not my car. My car is behind that. They're both red, but mine's the one behind. I know because one day I got a little note on my screen, don't park here, the school bus here. And I said, really, it's up to the town hall to put a bus stop. But nothing's there at all. And this, you can't really blame the person. And off she went. And I thought, everybody is so different. And so it's just fascinating. But you can see how passionate I am and how amazing this is, that this is just a proof and a show of how we are in control of who we are, what we are. But we have to realize that it is important to just go on along in life and be who you are and do this, to discover your truth, uncover your knowledge, your skills, your life. I could go on about this for ages and we haven't got time today, but this is what I'm all about. And this is why I'm so happy to be doing this masterclass today. I just thought that listening to this video might help you really start thinking about where you're at in life right now, who you are, the truth of your self-realization, and perhaps help you to make some changes. There might be a need right now for some self-observation and some insights into what direction you're taking to get some clarity. Let me know any comments or questions below. I'd love to open up a conversation with you. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend.